Numbers are in and we finally have some competition for Yu-Gi-Oh! Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So this was posted online. It's been floating around for the last day or so. And I wanted to talk about the top 10 trading card game sales per series. Now this is for August 2024 in the OCG. Alright, so basically, or rather the top 9 out here. Now the big thing you gotta take away with this is looking at OCG numbers is very important because, you guessed it, most of the heavy responsibility and most of the big push is done in the OCG. If you want new cards, you want sets shaped around things out here, you have to watch the success of Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting bopped around a little bit to see those changes be made on the OCG side, so that our sets, when they come to the TCG, you guessed it, we get those changes shaped around. And typically this is going to result in bad news, because if Yu-Gi-Oh! Starts to dwindle down in numbers, they're going to go, oh, hey, we need to make more powerful cards. So unfortunately, the cycle with this turns into Konami has to print more powerful cards, kind of push things back into the realm of things out here. So while you might be looking at this going, you know, the bad news here is with this shift around of things, you're really forcing the initial power creep of things. So I wanted to put that on the table out here because I think a lot of people kind of forget that. Also, you know, this was only for the Crossover Breakers release for Japan, so for such a powerful set. Okay, so starting things off here on the chart of doom, Pokemon's number 1. Does anybody actually want to try to challenge that? Like, anybody out here? Anybody? Pokemon number 1? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So One Piece coming in at number 2 out here. Now, what I want to point out here is I pulled up everything that came out here in August for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh's third place here. The only thing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Had out this month was the release of Crossover Breakers and the 7-Eleven campaign for this. Now, somebody's going to be like, oh my gosh, One Piece finally did it. Okay, so you do realize that some months have actual, like, crazy set releases, right? The only thing that we had this month to affect the sales was Crossover Breakers, and it was on December 24th. You had about 7 days of sales with Crossover Breakers. This doesn't even count the stragglers coming into the market out here going, I want to pick up a box, or maybe I want to pick up some Malice to be able to kind of test out and see what we can do against the meta. Versus, you know, One Piece, who, you know, smashing through out here with new sets. Yeah, it's important, all right? So the big other takeaway from this data, at least between the One Piece and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Side of things, because, I mean, when you have Supreme Darkness landing in October, you can best bet your butt. Guess what? Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to track on up back to second place out here, because core sets are a major thing. All right, there are 4 times a year where those core sets are supposed to do this. And somebody's going to be like, well, Robbie, you know, you're defending Konami, just let it all burn. No, I'm talking sense here. I'm saying that whatever supplemental products that you have throughout the year that aren't the 4 core sets do not sell or come anywhere close to the initial power that you tend to have with these things, except for maybe the holiday product at the end of the year. The holiday product, I mean, we already know we're supposed to get some pretty cool stuff in that. I'm super excited for that, by the way. All right, I think that product is probably going to be one of the luxury items. Usually are a pretty big seller, in my opinion. So, and of course, this also doesn't factor for the advent of the Blue Eyes starter deck, which literally came out in September. All right, so had we had the release of the structure deck for Blue Eyes, you could see those sales figures going crazy. And I'm sure when we get the September sales data out there, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Yu-Gi-Oh! Is second place. Yes, there's reason for that. So, no Blue Eyes deck You got 7 days of, interesting data to be gathered for crossover breakers, but you know that Blue Eyes deck's gonna break those numbers. So, what about everything else here? So, Duel Masters still coming in at number 4. Why is it every one of these videos I make out here, people are just perplexed that Duel Masters still exists in Japan? You know that Duel Masters in Japan was an extremely popular thing, right? Like, there's really been no break on that game. So, I don't know why people are so shocked about that, but I gotta throw that back out here so that people do know, hey, it's still here. It hasn't changed. Why Schwarz by Bushiroad is still number 5. Now, remember, you can call this what this is, but, Weiss is the original, well, I guess, can we call it the original game that took all the anime titles, lets you put them up on a podium, on a stage, and pronounce them around, and then have a show against your opponent to find out which anime storyline is more dramatic to put the other one into submission. Anybody else feel no? Okay. We also have Dragon Ball Super card game from Bandai. Hey, look, it's Bandai games down here. Interesting. Yeah. Magic the Gathering coming in at number 7. Magic, granted, it's always been like top 10 in Japan, but it has its challengers. It has its things that push it down. And I'm wondering, hey, Japan and Wizards, what are you guys going to do to push these numbers back up? Because that's not doing good. Union Arena. Now, for those of you that don't know, Union Arena just came to English. We do have Bleach, and we do have Hunter x Hunter being the first 2 titles to kind of land out here and kind of set up the pace for what we're kind of expecting out here. With that being said, though, to see that, this is... Union Arena has definitely recovered itself out of the wasteland of abysmality, because when Union Arena first launched, its sales were dog shit. Alright, like, I saw this stuff in clearance bins in Japan. It was awful out here. So, but they got some real titles. Things have been escalating around pretty quickly, in my opinion, and they're recovering. And then you see down here, Rush Duel coming in at number 9. So, Rush Duel still top 10ing next to Yu-Gi-Oh! In, its higher slot. Things to note here: no Flesh and Blood, no Digimon. Actually, the lack of Digimon is kind of surprising to me. I can already... I don't know if the Digimon community's been doomer posting lately, but, like, I don't know. What's up, guys? Like, what's going on? Like, why is Digimon... Why are y'all freaking out? I know you guys have infinite power creep, like, every set, but, like, what's going on here? Mother D Reaper ruining your day? Like, well, what's going on? I'm very curious about that. I also saw Bandai just made another game, the Gundam card game. So now Bandai has One Piece, Dragon Ball, Second Dragon Ball, Union Arena, Gundam. We're entering into an era out here. You also have the Hololive TCG entering into the market soon. So that's a big one. If you don't think the Hololive card game is going to enter in here and be a challenger, you have some. It's going to be very interesting to see. I cannot wait to see those numbers and how that's probably going to set probably top 10. I'm curious, actually, because Hololive's an entirely different creature. All right, we'll have to wait and see. Also, last little note here on all this. I kind of want to say we're almost at card game fatigue right now. During the COVID era, I didn't initially expect, 4 years later, we would see this crank up of card games out here. But holy crap, man. There is so many different card games that you can look at, play, and experience right now. And yeah, variety is good, in my opinion. It's good for the competition. It's good that, Yu-Gi-Oh's finally going to get its shit together as these numbers go down. Yeah, I mean, sure. Impact and things, Yu-Gi-Oh having its sales figures drop down is a good thing for competition. It means they need to get their shit together and get some changes rolling. So, find that these numbers are interesting, to say the least. So, what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. I expect at least 30 Yu-Gi-Oh's done post before people actually analyze and actually look at the data and understand. But, you guys have a good rest of your day, alright? patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.